Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Zone podcast. My name is Nate Cohen, once again joined by my slightly depressed co-host, as has turned into a trend this year, Riley Davis, and pretty good week of college football, I would say. I actually thought it was really good week of college football. However, my teams entered coming out of this week, both in the top four. So it's good moves around the Cohen establishment at the moment, but yeah, rough one for South Carolina this week, huh?
What did you say?
South Carolina.
This wasn't even the
It's
game.
what my dad and I call South Carolina.
This wasn't even the game that we had bad sacks. Like there was bad other things this game that have been bad, but like were especially bad this game that I can't talk about directly, I feel like, because I'm not gonna name drop people because that's not allowed. But
Am I
like
allowed to name drop people?
I don't know. It's a gray
I am
area.
technically not involved. Well,
It's a gray area.
I guess I'll talk about it when we talk about South Carolina
I'll
because
talk
I
about it
have the same
without
opinion
talking
you
about the
have.
people involved. I'll just be like, let's look at this drive, shall we? Interesting. Let's look at this next drive, shall we? Really interesting. Who did that?
It was a rough
That's so
performance for South.
crazy.
It was a rough one for Cocky this weekend against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I mean, I guess they were like kind of like getting into South Carolina related stuff already. Dude, I saw a video of Willie B in like the third and fourth quarter,
Yeah.
and like I don't think I've ever seen the stadium look that lifeless. I mean, granted, you guys are getting your ass kicked, but
Granted
like
the fact
I've
that the
seen
student section chanted twice in the first quarter, two separate times, fire a certain coach, and like the whole student section was chanting that in the first quarter. So that's how you know it's going so good.
hey
It's
man, you
going
could be
great.
Florida fans chanting fire their head coach after a game they won,
And he did.
and they did.
They
They
did.
finally
We've
did.
been calling it for like two seasons now, and we're like, oh my God.
It's like this is going
Uh,
to be the year that Napier's fired first. No. But yeah, I we can transition into news because there actually is like a decent amount of head coach related news to
oh,
talk about this week.
and there's a
Um,
Clemson player who's like in the hospital, I think. I didn't see much about it, but apparently, I mean, like, that's terrible. I hate Clemson, but that's awful, and I hope he does well and he's okay.
anyway, um,
It was like, it was one of the
oh
news things I
no.
saw this
Anyway,
weekend
last
because I
week.
was like, oh my gosh.
Oh
Anyways,
no. Anyway, last week. Um, that yeah, good wishes to that player. Yeah, Florida finally pulls the trigger on firing Napier. Um, kind of seems like he saw it coming. Apparently, he was saying his goodbyes a lot of the week, had one last game with the team. They won.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
they shouldn't have won, but they won against a pretty solid Mississippi State team. But they fired him anyway. Florida's next game is Georgia, which it's a rough one to fire your coach before. Um,
That's how you
but
know
it
they're in
was
like a desperate position. So like, we can't take it anymore. Get him out of here.
we can't take it anymore. Um, but I think it's a good decision for Florida. I maybe would have waited till the end of the season, but I can understand why they were a little uh trigger happy. They've been trying to fire him for a very long time. Um, and you know, their rivals up north, I think Tallahassee is in Panhandle, North Florida. Um, after another stunning loss at a team they should have beat, which further cementing how in the actual fuck Alabama lost to them in week one. Which I was talking about it with my dad today, good friend of the pod. Um, and he said that about that Florida State game, that it's actually almost becoming so much of a fluke that no one's going to care about it. Like it's one of those things where it's like it's so
Probably.
much of a fluke on the schedule.
It's more just like what the hell was that? Like when you look
I
at the rest
actually
of the
think it was the
schedule,
best thing to happen to Alabama this entire year.
like
Like
a wake up.
I think it meant more to this team than beating Georgia or like Vandy or Tennessee this week. Because like if that doesn't happen, this team probably gets their like fucking face blasted in by Georgia in Sanford. So who knows? And speaking about Florida State, they once again lost. I we can well I guess we could talk about it a little bit here. One of the biggest just Pac-12 after dark like tribute acts I've ever seen of a football game. Hilarious work, but they lost again, and Norvell is now firmly on the hot seat. But Florida State came out today and said that they were going to wait until the end of the season to come up with an idea on firing him. Um, do you know, Riley, trivia question, how much,
Oh
roughly how
Lord.
much money, roughly how much money is it going to cost Florida State to fire Norvell and his entire staff
Right now? Or
right
like at
now?
the end of the season? Or would it change?
It depends. They all have enough years on their contract where I don't think it'll matter at the end of the season.
Is it more
I
than
could
the
be wrong on
payout?
that.
Is it more than the payout of James Franklin?
I take in
More?
mind it's Norvell and his staff. It's not just one person.
Oh. How much was Franklin's payout? I forgot. It's
It's
like it
56 million, I
56.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his staff, is it like 80 mil or
It's roughly, I don't
90?
know if how like true this is. Roughly the report I saw is 100 million to fire Norvell and his staff off schedule of the contract, which I don't know when this contract ends.
Damn.
I'm gonna search that up real quick.
That's
Um,
ooh.
I mean, a Norvell did get fired yesterday. He lasts through 2026, so they're stuck with him for another year. Um, yeah, Colorado State fired their head coach, who was Mike Norvell's brother. So wrong one, I guess. Um, I, good week for the Red Zone podcast, guessing things
Crazy
related
week
to
or a crazy year of like coaches being fired mid-season.
yeah, because
Like
we talked about Franklin
genuinely,
earlier in the year.
there's been like three head coaches that are coming to mind right now that have already been. Nope, there's more than that. I'm thinking, okay, Arkansas, Penn State, Florida.
Oh, right, I
Who
forgot about
else?
Archie.
I forgot about, yeah,
UCLA, Virginia Tech.
UCLA. Jesus. Like,
Yeah,
my God.
I
This
just
just
want
brings
to.
up the like who's good this year of like,
Well, I
good
mean,
Lord.
these are like teams that no one really had expectations for other than Penn State.
Yeah, but then
And I
it's
guess
like
Florida.
any expectation is like,
Yeah.
oh, firing coach
Um,
mid-season is like a desperation.
okay. Last week, I gave a shout out to Vitamin Water, and I want to give another one. Please sponsor
Hashtag
us.
not
Hashtag please
sponsored.
sponsor us.
Not sponsored.
Here, I'll even do the
Well, you gotta do it
thing they do in
logo out.
commercials.
You gotta go like, there you go. That's how like I always like want to try to like place the Red Bull can. You're like,
It's so okay. They do it so well in NASCAR. Like because they'll be drinking Coke after the race, which is, by the way, fucking hilarious that these guys will finish a 3.5 hour race and then just drink a bottle of Coke.
covered in sweat. They're just like,
I mean, I love NASCAR, but it's very funny. It's a very funny sport. Um, you should go check out my radio show. I guess I haven't really talked about that on this podcast yet.
we haven't?
For
Did we
for
just?
the
We
greater
must just
part,
talk about
I
it
think
like after.
I don't think I really. Oh, I guess I said it like the first week I did it, but I ended up getting kicked off the air that week because of a soccer game. But yeah, you can go check me out at motorsportslounge.wiux on
But it's
Instagram.
later this week than normal.
It's tomorrow actually. I had to change my time from Thursday to Tuesday morning this week specifically because I have an accounting exam the
Oh,
night
I read
of
it
my
wrong.
radio show.
I thought it said 11 p.m.
Does it say 11 p.m.? Oh shit.
No, that might be me. I thought it was
I
me.
really hope that's you. Hold on.
That might be me. Hold on,
Sorry,
you can keep
guys.
plugging and I'll check.
Yeah, very good show. I have a lot of fun doing it. I talk about okay, I did say AM.
Yeah,
You're geeked. You're geeked. You're geeked.
I just can't
Um,
read. Why'd you take it
so
down?
I didn't take it down.
Oh, my phone isn't loading. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like it's fun. I like talking about motorsports. I speaking of motorsports, what a weekend for Max Verstappen.
My
He's
God,
going to
is he
win the
gonna do it?
championship.
Is he
Yes,
gonna
he
do
is.
it?
But I guess this is not a motorsports podcast. But
Truly
yeah, you should go check
hilarious
me
if he
out.
does.
The link to go listen to my show is in the bio of the motorsportslounge.wix Instagram profile. Go check it out. It's fun. Just talk about motorsports for an hour, super chill vibe. Very different to this podcast. I definitely don't act the same way on that show. So if you hate
Is it
me,
more
you should go
professional?
check it out. It is a lot more professional. If I cuss, I get struck down by the FCC. So
Cute. That's
yeah, I
awesome.
get I get fucked by the FCC. Um, but
Nice.
speaking of teams that got fucked this week, let's go into talking about the rankings. What a segue. And in the rankings this week, every single position except the first changed. So,
Yeah. And
shout
also
out
I think it's funny that
Indiana.
almost every team that we talked about entering the rankings last week is now gone. So that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Also, I guess one more piece of news I forgot to talk about. Game day going to Missouri versus Vanderbilt. Boo. Bad. Don't go there. You
If
want
we
to
were
know what's
still good,
going? No, because you know what's the even this should have gotten game day even over a good South Carolina versus a good Alabama. Because this week, number one versus number two in the FCS with Notre Dame, North Dakota State versus South Dakota State, which is like a historical rivalry in FCS. These have been the two best teams for the last like 10 years, both undefeated, both looking to win the FCS this year. Back in the day, game day would have had no hesitation going there, but
no,
now
no. Now it's
that
money.
SEC money. Um,
Well, that's why, like, if we were still good, this would have been a cool
Speaking
game.
speaking of the SEC corruption, not corruption, but SEC business with ESPN, did you see the clip of one of the ESPN like analysts talking about wishing he could cover Ohio State more?
No.
So in one of their ESPN's YouTube videos, they're going through Ohio State versus Wisconsin highlights. And the guy, he's like, man, I wish we could talk about Ohio State more, but business stuff with ESPN and like wish we could show more highlights and stuff like that, which I interpreted as a shot at SEC's deal with ESPN. But on further reflection, it could also just be because that game was on CBS and CBS and ESPN don't have the greatest working relationship, but it's interesting. You can interpret it your own way, what he meant by that. I think the most chaotic way to interpret it is thinking that he was taking shots at the SEC's deal with ESPN because it's been a big thing this year. Like SEC glazing, let's call it that, is a big thing this year because let's be real with ourselves. People glaze the SEC way too much. Like they'll show like there's the big Twitter like meme, which is like another hypothetical win for the SEC because there's nothing SEC fans love more than bringing up Big Ten teams and saying how badly they'll do on an SEC schedule. And by Big Ten teams, I mean fucking Indiana over and over again. But this year, they picked more targets. They didn't just come after us, they also came after Ohio State and Oregon. Um, but that's been a big talking point of college football this year. Obviously, you're an SEC fan. Um, Riley. And I guess I'm not an SEC fan. I'm an Alabama fan who doesn't like the SEC because of their treatment of my precious Pookie alumnus college last year, and a bit of this year. Um, but I mean, it's an interesting hypothetical, but it's just that it's a hypothetical. Like, you can't say like Indiana would lose this amount of games if they had like Alabama's schedule and like because Alabama plays like eight ranked teams this year. But it's also unfair to bring that up in the first place because it's a tough schedule. Like, who knows how South Carolina would have done against Indiana's schedule this year?
Knows. Our schedule's a
Who knows?
mess. We're not good enough for our schedule. Hello?
October is just taking a beating right now.
Lord.
It's a bad joke. I didn't even mean to make that.
It's
But
so
anyway, yeah,
bad.
rankings. Ohio State stays at one. Indiana moves up to two, which is where we should have been last week, but whatever. A&M up one, Bama up two after winning third Saturday in October, Georgia up four after a statement win against Ole Miss, Oregon up two after a shellacking of Rutgers, Georgia Tech moves up five for some reason after like not playing incredible against Duke. I mean, they won and it ended up winning pretty easily, but they didn't play very well for a majority of that game, and then they got moved up five positions, which feels a little like overzealous.
Hey, that rivalry week spot is gonna be peak
Yeah, that's where game day is going to go probably.
for
Oh,
sure.
hopefully not though, because that's a neutral site. Oh, actually, hopefully, yeah, because
Yeah,
then
they'll
I
be
could
at the
go to game day.
Bends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because then I can go to game day because we'll be back for that.
I
Um,
won't.
Ole Miss down three after losing to Georgia feels fair. Miami down seven also feels fair. Vandy up seven also feels fair. BYU up four after beating Utah, also a good call. Notre Dame and Oklahoma both up one. Texas Tech down seven after losing to Arizona State.
Arizona State.
And I think that is another reason why you see those like inflated numbers for Vandy and Tech specifically, because there was like three top 10 teams that lost this
So
week.
yeah, I was gonna say Miami, Texas Tech.
And Ole Miss makes
Yeah,
sense. You it
and
it's
LSU.
it's
Terrence and
high
LSU.
time that like Georgia Tech gets promoted for continuing to win games. Like this is kind of what happened with Indiana last year. I really don't actually know where Indiana was at this point last year because I think looking at Indiana and
Let's
Georgia
look.
Tech's schedules this year, like they have the same amount of. Oh, hold on, I can just do this right now.
I'm doing it
I
right
got it.
now.
Week nine of last year, Indiana was ranked 13th at 7-0. So yeah, let's be
We
real
were
with
getting
ourselves.
ranks. We were getting AP
Let's
poll
be
ranks or votes
let's
last
be
year. What the
let's be real
hell?
with ourselves, guys. Is Georgia Tech's schedule this year any different than Indiana's last year? Not really.
Well, starting
Georgia
off,
Tech doesn't have a
it's
quality
we
win.
thought it was. We
For
thought
Georgia
so.
Tech? Did
Clemson at the
we?
beginning of the year, we
That
thought
was
it
one
Clemson.
game.
Well, like we like thought it was a good quality. Like they started off with like a team that was like, oh my
That is
God, like
fair.
what an upset.
So, but to be fair, we thought the Nebraska win last year for Indiana was quality. Because at the time, Nebraska was 5-1 and was like right on the ranking edge. Like they were like 26th or 27th. And people interpreted that as a quality win. And
What
then
week was
Nebraska,
Nebraska?
week six or week seven.
Okay.
It would have been week seven, I think. No, it was week six, week five. Yeah, it was week five because we went. That was when we went 5-0. And Nebraska was 5-0. They were 5-0 at going into that game, I think. So shit. Maybe I'm still fighting a battle that doesn't exist. But anyway, I do think Georgia Tech's a good team, by the way. I'm not like trying to shit on them. I'm just saying, like, at this point, compare I think it's a good comparison at this point. Like, I don't think it's an insane comparison to compare this year's Georgia Tech to last year's Indiana.
Fair enough.
But yeah, anyway, Missouri up one, UVA up two, Tennessee down six after losing to Bama, USF up one. Louisville enters the rankings from unranked into 19, which is a big jump, but feels kind of fair. LSU down 10. I would have unranked them. If I'm being honest, I don't think they're very good, but 10 is probably fine. Um, Cincinnati up three, Texas down one, and then Illinois, Arizona State, and Michigan re-entering the rankings, all three of them at 5-2. Dropping for the rankings this week was USC, Memphis, Utah, and Nebraska, all suffering losses throughout the week. Riley, thoughts, opinions on the
Thoughts and
rankings?
opinions? Well, um, I hate LSU, so sucks to suck. But I also don't like Vandy either. But I don't know. I don't know if I would unrank them for
Which
that.
one do you not like more?
LSU. Hands down LSU. Because in the past, it was like Vandy was like, oh, it's Vandy. They're not a football school. Look at their stadium. It's under construction. It has been. But like they don't have like they're not I don't know, it's interesting.
Look at
Last year
them
was the
nerds.
first year they started like making waves football wise, kinda. And like it
Yeah.
was sort of a trap at who knows. Anyways, moving on. I don't know if I would drop them from the rankings for this because it's technically like going into it, it is like conference play. It was at Vandy, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
But when is that ever?
I
To be
mean, I
fair,
just
when is that
dissed their
ever?
stadium. I just dissed their stadium, but still, it is like some factor. It is, you are on the road.
You
Like,
know,
it's not with your home fans. And I'm not sure there's many LSU fans traveling to Nashville.
do you want to know what LSU's next two games are?
Oh Lord. Are they like
I think
easy,
it's
or are they,
at
or are
Texas
they
A&M
dropping out of
at
the
Al it's at Texas A&M and then at Alabama.
It's no, it's not. Texas A&M is home.
Then it's at home against Texas A&M and at Alabama.
They're falling out. Yeah, they're falling out of the rankings after Alabama because they probably won't win that game. Um,
They're probably going to fall after out of the rankings after losing to Texas A&M this week.
that
I
was real.
struggle to see the AP poll ranking a three-loss team.
Yeah, I mean they ranked an 0-2 team, so who knows?
Hey man, that
I
0-2
will
team's like
never.
actually good now.
I know, but I still will never get rid like I can never wrap my head
That's a
around it.
unique case though. I think it's because
Yeah,
they lost to two ranked teams.
yeah.
If they had lost to an unranked team and a ranked team, they would have been unranked. But I think the fact that they lost to two kind of highly touted ranked teams was the
Still,
reason why they
I
were
mean,
still in it.
I'm gonna use your own. If it was Indiana and they were 0-2 by week 3, they would not be ranked. Ranked teams are not. So,
Yeah, but
just saying,
we're number
another
two in
number
the
2 in the
country now.
country. So, like, that wouldn't like be the case. But I digress.
We got
Because
six
that's
first
not
place
like that
votes
has
this
nothing
week.
to do with where it is now. Because right now they're fine. Like right now Notre Dame is like cruising.
Also,
Um,
I wouldn't have ranked Michigan because I know they won by a lot, kinda, against Washington. I think final score was like 24-7 or something like that. I don't think they're a better team than USC. And I still think USC is still 5-2, right? So
yes,
shouldn't they be ranked ahead of the team they beat? I don't know.
in theory,
I
yes.
In theory, yes. In
Oh, there's
actuality,
also one of the AP poll people is not something. There's someone who works on that. One of the members on the AP poll committee is like dropping out this season.
oh, it was the college football playoff committee, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant to say. The playoff committee. Yeah. He's
I
stepping
mean,
away this just says for personal reasons, but it's just coming back next year. But I just think that's interesting. That's probably not going to
yeah.
change absolutely anything. But just that is news.
I supposedly it is news.
It's
I
not
did
going to
see that, but
affect
I didn't really know
anything at
how.
all.
Yeah.
No, nothing is going to change. I was just like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Um, do we want to talk about games?
Sure.
I'll start with Indiana. Because okay, I have a confession. I left at halftime of this game, which I know is incredibly unlike me, but we were like, if you watched any of the game, we were like threatening to get rain, like biblical thunderstorms. We got put onto a lightning delay during halftime, and it looked like that was not going anywhere. Like it looked like we were going to be there for like at least 2 hours. The two people I went to the game with, I went to the game with three people. One of them left at halftime because he was with his parents. The other two didn't have like jackets and didn't want to stand because they had to shove all of us into the concourse, which is fair. Like I don't like that makes sense. So and also like let's be real, we were never losing that game, and I was the only one who had a poncho, so we kind of just like dipped and went home. Annoyingly, which is none of our faults, they just restarted the half like normally. Like there wasn't any more delay to the lightning clock. It did rain a bunch though, um, which I'll take. It's good for me leaving. But yeah. Anyway, good game. Great game. I did end up watching the whole thing. But yeah, I'm pretty much a broken record at this point, saying the same thing every week about this team. We are pretty easily one of the best teams in the country. And I think if you look at this Indiana team and you don't consider them national contenders, you just don't know ball. Like, I'm sorry, but you just got negative ball knowledge if you don't think this Indiana team is a national championship contender. Um, we have a really good defense who, to be fair, I thought played their worst game of the season to this point. Maybe the second worst game of the season. I thought they were pretty bad against Old Dominion. but let Aiden Childs get away with a little bit too much. I thought the secondary was a little eh, but offense was as good as ever. Five touchdowns in our first like five drives. We have the best two-headed horse. We have probably the second best two-headed like Trojan horse, like Hydra two-headed. What's a two-headed mythical beast? Uh, I don't know. Two-headed
None is
monster.
coming to
We probably
mind.
have the second best two-headed wide receiver attack behind Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. Just another great game for Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt. Cooper ended up with 8 catches for 115 and a touchdown. Surratt ended up with 4 catches for 70 and 2 touchdowns. And honestly, just like throw EJ Williams in there as well, who I think is an incredible slot receiver. Once again, running game was good. Kalen Black, 10 for 64. Hemby didn't really do much in this game. He kind of his worst game as a IU player, but Kalon was carrying enough the load to where like it didn't really matter that much. Um, Fernando was once again showing why he's a bona fide Heisman candidate. I would put him number two in that race, number one or number two. Uh, 24 for 28 for 332 and 4 interceptions. Really didn't make any mistakes. Um, they did a good job of stopping Childs, at least in the second half, when he was starting to run wild. Yeah, and then good game. Can't overlook UCLA given how they've been playing recently. Um, but
I
yeah,
know what a two-headed monster is.
yeah.
It's in fact a Muppets character called Two-Headed Monster.
Okay, so we
So
have
that's y'all.
one of the best. Yes, that is our rushing game and our receiving game.
You're like,
Yeah,
we
good
have
game.
Muppets.
Fun atmosphere. Homecoming this weekend. I think they came up with
Us
some stat.
too.
They came up with some stat which maybe might or might not be true. Apparently, IU has the largest living alumni network in the United States of America with 800,000.
That's interesting.
So I mean, I can see it. They did. IU has a lot of grads. Like, I do think we're like easily top three, top five. So I could potentially see us being number one. But yeah, homecoming, good vibes, good game. We continue to be like world beating, really good. And yeah, keep up the momentum, and then we don't really have to face a challenge until the Big Ten championship game. So yeah, that's my IU talk. You want to talk about
Hard
South
left
Carolina?
turn. Hard left turn.
You
I'm
don't
just
have to if you don't want to. This is a
I'm
safe
just
space.
gonna I'm just gonna read some things. Okay? This is the first drive of the game. Okay? That's just what we're gonna read. All right. So, kickoff for a touchback. Then we start off the drive, 9-yard pass to Nick Harbor. Bad. 12-yard pass to Nick Harbor. Perfect for a first down. Starting off that first down, Rasul Faison running for 2 yards. Awesome. Next, 5-yard pass, Jaden Sellers. Not bad, you know. Next, here's where we get into the fun stuff. 2-yard run, Rasul Faison. 36-yard run, Rasul Faison for a first down. We are now first and goal at the OU 9. I almost said IU. We're not playing IU this year. Anyways, 3-yard run, Rasul Faison. Okay. Now it's second down. 3-yard run, Rasul Faison. Okay. Negative 2-yard run, Rasul Faison. Okay. That is how many? One, two, three, four, five in a row that you just handed off to Sewell. Okay. And then how do we end the drive on fourth and goal at the OU 5? Instead of taking a field goal early on in the game, we just decided to try to run it up the middle again and don't get anything. That was the first thing I was going to read. The first and only touchdown that we made in the second quarter. Oh, so let's see. We get to the OU 1. We're first and goal at the OU 1. What did we try to do? Matt Fuller run for no gain. Okay, second and goal at the OU 1. Matt Fuller run for no gain. Okay, third and goal at the OU 1. Matt Fuller run for a loss of 1 yard. Three in a row, we do the same play again. And then we finally get a touchdown when we let Sellers pass the ball. After freaking 2 yards, we've lost. So that was just the first half. I stated that the student section was, I can't say anything like this on this thing, but just that's, mm, I stated that the student section was calling for a certain staff member to be fired. Um, and I think the offense was very interesting in this game, as I have also said in the past as well, every other week. And it's just really interesting to me, the run game that we have, and how we don't really seem to utilize other skills that we have, such as Sellers being able to throw and make passes. Um, yes, we have a change in our O-line coach this week. And I did notice a change in the O-line. It wasn't as bad as it has historically been. Not amazing still, but like historically, it's been way worse in terms of not at all having like the ability to make any plays whatsoever. I will say, that being said, the run game has not ever once this season proven to be successful or make any impact in a very like crazy way at all so far. I've just read, there's 2 drives. Oh, and then also, when did OU get a safety? Was when in the fourth quarter we decided to have Matt Fuller run it again while we're literally in the end zone, as if we haven't had him or Sewell run it a bajillion times before and keep having turnover on downs, having to punt, turnover on. What in the world? We need to stop with the predictive play calling, the same freaking people running it straight up the middle or for a gain of 2 yards or loss. It's literally no in between. It's horrendous. Horrendous. And I can't go on here and be like, oh, you need to fire blah, 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 redacted. Um, but it's not good.
Redacted.
Redacted. It's not good. You literally cannot. We started the year with like a quarterback that was on the Heisman watch list, and he has not been able to make any waves this season due to like the calls that he's given. And like, I can't harp on about the O-line now because we fired our O-line coach, and so now we have like change in that field. But still, like, it's and like obviously that's gonna need time to get better if because like it's not gonna be better immediately in a week. But I'm like, you went from having a quarterback on the Heisman watch list and being starting the season off ranked to now being 3-4 and 1-4 in the SEC, and literally with a quarterback that has not had a chance to make any sort of moves or any sort of waves at all, and just like legitimately, I don't know, regressed, I would just say the offense has. And so, yeah, that's what I'll say. Um, Literally did not look like the same South Carolina team that I've like praised in the past. And like if there's ever been a game that's been more like has been more of an example of like struggles with the offense and just like pointing out flaws, it is this game because the offense could do nothing on this game. And the defense was also like struggling a little bit too. I will say like the defense has been what's held us up for the most part in these past couple games. Um, but it still was like struggling a little bit this game and like wasn't looking its absolute best, but still, I mean, there's a lot to be said about like not making any moves. And it's frustrating for sure to like see the same things every week as I've said, and then nothing's really ever changing. So, especially, I mean, we'll talk about next week's, like when the previews, but I'm like, buckle up, I guess, because this is about to be rough. Like, whew.
Yeah, I mean it's not like you have it's not like you have anyone like too good coming into town next week. Oh right. You get the number 4 team in the country who is playing who is on probably one of the biggest hot streaks of any team in the country right now. Um, yeah, I mean, I'll just give my slight 2 cents. This season's kind of killed for South Carolina. I
We're
struggle to
gonna
see
go
them.
like we're gonna win
I
four
just,
games this year.
I'm gonna struggle to see them making a bowl game, let
I am
alone
too. Well, because okay,
um,
I know we've talked about our schedule a lot, but I'm just gonna just to remind
it's bad.
everybody. Next week we have Alabama, the number four team in the country. Oh, and then what are we the week after that? Oh, then we're on the road at Ole Miss. Okay, cool, awesome. Oh, and then we have a bye week, but then where are we? Oh, we're on the road at Texas A&M, who's currently sitting at number three. Then you have a Coastal. Coastal is a pretty should be easy matchup, although in theory SC State should have been too, and we were down. We weren't
To be
looking good
fair,
for a good bit of that.
Coastal is always like there or thereabout. They're not a bad team.
Shh. Let me have one.
No,
Let
like
us
if you guys lose, that'll be catastrophic. But I'm just saying, like
let us
Coastal
go
is.
4-7 into the Clemson game.
I
It's
think you guys will
truly
end up
like
finishing 5-7.
probably, probably, truly just bad. Yeah,
Damn chair.
literally like I don't even know what to say at this point because like there are people who are very vocal about staff changes at South Carolina.
You are not one of them.
I mean, I can't be on a public platform with like because I'm not allowed to like specifically badmouth people. So I'm not going to. Um, but I will say very interesting choices. And I have talked about the run game. We don't have a strong run game, and we haven't since the bowl game. So, you know, just interesting stuff, really. Interesting stuff. And, you'd hope to see change come about, but like we got a week and it's supposed to be homecoming this week, but like Gamecock fans are not going to want to show up if this is the like what we're bringing them. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Um, yeah, rough one for South Carolina. Um, he. Time to talk about the third Saturday in October. Eat it, Tennessee fans. They talk so much shit just to get absolutely shit stomped. Oh man, we smoked them. We smoked them hard. We smoked them if we got them. Who cares if they led total yards and passing yards and rushing yards and they beat us in almost every single offensive statistic? We beat the shit out of them. It was awesome. I knew, and when that 99-yard pick six happened at the end of the first half, though, they were going to win this game. Um, what a pick! What a play, by the way. Thanks for being an absolute numpty, Josh Heupel. That was a dumbass play call. Um, which of course Zabian Brown saw coming from a mile away. Um, but aside from that, I thought they played really well today. 2 days ago, I guess. Um, dealt
Today,
with getting punched.
Saturday.
Dealt with getting punched in the mouth a lot better than I thought they would. There was specifically a time where Tennessee would they came back at the beginning of the second half. Bama went three and out, and then Tennessee like immediately scored. And then Bama just responded by having they responded by fumbling, it was a dumb call, but they stopped them. Went on this 99-yard drive, and from there it was game over. Ty is playing with the best quarterback in the country right now. Some of the throws he's making is like ridiculous. He ended up finishing 19 for 29 for 253 and two touchdowns. I thought Ryan Williams had probably his best game of the season, and the stats might not show it. Like he might have better stats in other games, but he seemed so much more confident here. Obviously, it's been an issue with him this year, but I thought he was very good in this game. I think he caught pretty much every ball that he had the chance to catch. Um, I'm going to I'll finish talking about the good and then I'll say the bad. I thought the defense was pretty good. They had a good game plan more than anything else. Very bend but don't break on Tennessee, which was frustrating until it worked, and then it wasn't frustrating. Um, I'm still a very big Kane Womack truther. I think despite how bad South Carolina is Sellers is 100% the type of quarterback that always does well against Alabama. They cannot take him for granted going into next week, or
I
he
mean, if
will,
he can't, never mind. I'll keep that to myself.
or he will become an issue. But I do think this defense will probably handle him pretty well because I don't think he does. I'm sorry, Riley. I don't think he does anything better than Pavia, and they play very similarly. And we did a pretty good job of stopping him in the Vandy game. Um, I think he's probably he's a much better pocket thrower, like pocket passing quarterback, but his running game is similar-ish to Pavia, which is what I was more scared about. I thought Yanze Pierre had probably his best game in an Alabama jersey, ended up getting 3 sacks and a forced safety. And yeah, defense was good. All right. Negative was the rushing game was non-existent. Our leading rusher was Gurmy Bernard, who was a wide receiver. Um, Need to sort that out. Going into South Carolina, who still has a pretty okay to decent defense. Where if we aren't two dimensional, that could end up becoming an issue. But yeah, I thought they did really well. Beating Tennessee is always a highlight. They held the number one scoring offense in the country to under 20 points for the first time this season, or 20 points or under for the first time this season, which was nice to see. And yeah, just very, very good game. Bryant Denny was popping. Good to see them beat Tennessee. I mean, I love beating Tennessee. I hate Tennessee. Um, and good to see their fans immediately going to cry on Twitter about it. Stay classy, Tennessee fans. Um, and I don't know what to do with Tennessee at this point. I definitely don't think they're making the playoffs. Um, and I don't know how you consider this season if you're a Tennessee fan if they don't make the playoffs. Obviously, I don't have a lot of Tennessee fan friends because no one really. I was gonna make some joke about how much like I hate Tennessee fans, but also like no one really roots for Tennessee in the greater Atlanta metro. So
I was gonna
like
say
I knew like one or two people who supported Tennessee.
my note for this game is just I hate Tennessee, man. I mean, they low down, they dirty.
Breach. They are snitches.
It's like that. It's
I didn't.
that inside of a pumpkin orange.
I'm mad I
It's,
didn't play any clip of that video last
and I'm
week.
not a dog person.
And I hate Phil Fulmer. I hate the quarterbacks. I hate Peyton Manning.
I think
Oh
it's
man.
you like I
I
get obviously I get marching band TikTok. The Alabama marching band, the is it $1 million band?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
the
adjusting
million
forward
dollar
slavery.
band, the $1 million band Piccolo section did a TikTok about that where they're like it was all of them going like doing the video like I hate Tennessee, man. They just got attacked by a sneeze. Oh my God, are you okay?
Should have heard
It
that.
looked like it gave you whiplash. Hello? My God.
I've been told I have a very cartoony sounding sneeze.
I didn't hear it, but you literally like you look like you got like slapped across the face. Dang.
I heard that when I sneeze, I like say achoo.
Oh, I do too, I think. When I try to like suppress a sneeze, I'll go like chew. And like I'll definitely go like chew. You go ah
Yeah.
chew. You know like those cartoon sneezes where like they're like
Achoo.
freaking blown up
Yeah.
into the air. They're like
Yeah.
that's you.
Um yeah, good game. Eat eat it, Tennessee. All right. Going into games, first game to talk about. Louisville walks into Miami Gardens and beats Miami 24-21. And guys,
The number one
he
country in the nation is
he's
back.
back. 4 interceptions for Carson Beck.
My
Just
Lord.
true Georgia form. I don't think he threw like a touchdown. Uh just just
Freaking
hilarious.
crazy. Ugh.
Um every time that you thought that he's not gonna throw another like he's not gonna throw another interception. He's gonna throw
Oh,
another
he did.
interception. Louisville was good. I don't think they did anything insane, but they played a very good game plan, forced Beck into mistakes. Um, and yeah, Miami. Well, we were talking about how he didn't know if Miami was going to lose, and I think I said something to the tune of like they'll have one. This is like remember when they lost to Tech last year? and it was like
This is
kind
their
of
one.
inexplicable. It was kind of like inexplicable.
This is
This
like
this
your
is gonna be one of
FSU.
those.
This is your FSU.
No, because Louisville's a good team, but like
They have the
still,
one.
they should have won this game.
The
Um,
funniest thing is the Jackson Chapman, friend of the pod, um, sent us a a thing about
oh, the real, it's like worst passes of the week.
worst passes of the week, and it's like literally it just goes like Carson Beck, and then it goes Miami quarterback, and then I forget his girlfriend's name, and then
Those
it
are
just
not his
Georgia
girlfriend anymore.
transfer, Hannah Cavender's ex.
Yeah, those are like very popular types of videos. I saw one of those after Penn State lost to Oregon.
It's truly
Um,
hilarious.
and from one team that should have probably won to another team that should have definitely won this game, Nebraska gets shit stomped by Minnesota. Dylan
Dylan
Raiola
Raiola
sacked
got sacked nine
nine times.
times.
Nine
Jeez.
times. He was late 9 times. Shout out that movie.
Ferris Bueller.
Yes, good job. Would have been we would have had to
Bueller.
cancel the pod.
No,
Bueller,
you and I quote that movie too much for me to not know.
Bueller.
Us sitting at a baseball game going, hey, bada,
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 bada, bada, bada, bada. So wing
swing.
bada. He can't get, he can't
He get
get,
it,
he
he get it,
can't
he can't get it,
get.
he get it.
So wing bada.
Good Beatles
Anyway,
song in that movie.
the second Nebraska enters the top 25, they immediately bork it the next week to Minnesota. Can't. And hey, who knows if that was because their head coach has his eyes set on another job.
At Penn State.
Penn State.
What?
I'm thinking that could be it. Because I mean, I'm thinking like, if Matt Rule doesn't go to Penn State, who does Penn State go for? Billy Napier,
God.
Mike Norvell. If Penn State hires Billy Napier, I am going to laugh on this podcast for
No, because
minutes in a
why?
row.
Why would you?
Or
Like,
if they
truly.
hire, God forbid, Hugh Freeze, because I think he's going to end up getting fired at the end of this year. That'd be
Oh my
even
God, I forgot
funnier.
we talked about Hugh Freeze getting fired.
Well, we
Or,
think he might get fired.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, just hilarious. Moving on to Saturday, Ohio State beats Wisconsin 34 nothing. Riley.
but also freaking damn.
Yeah,
Cub
Julian
stomped.
Sayin. Also, Julian Sayin really starting to hit his stride. Ohio
It's
State
really crazy.
looking real nice right now.
They really are. I
And
mean, they've
then
sat comfortably, and I mean like comfortably at number one this whole season.
pretty much
Yeah,
since beating Texas.
yeah.
Um, Next, Texas A&M defeats Arkansas 45-42 in a shootout in Fayetteville. Um, Second week in a row, Arkansas has kind of gotten into one of these with a very good football team. Maybe we shit on Bobby Petrino too early. Maybe
Maybe,
James Franklin isn't going to Arkansas because since Petrino's gotten there, they've played two top 15 teams and scored many points against both of them. And yeah, they lost both of them, but they look a lot better under Petrino than they do under Pittman. Um, I don't like. I know I kind of wrote against Tennessee last week, but that was just because I'm a hater. I mean, to be fair, A&M's defense should be doing a little bit better than this, but they get the win. That's a rough one, especially that being in Fayetteville. Um, yeah. Um,
moving on to
UGA Ole
another good
Miss.
game.
We talked going into this game about how this is two of the more bipolar teams in college football. And
Hmm.
in this game alone, we got both sides of both of these teams, four different sides of football in this game. Um, just okay. Let's get this out of the way. Let's begin with this. Ole Miss scoring 5 touchdowns on their first 5 straight possessions and then getting 13 yards of total offense in the fourth quarter is like unacceptable if you're an Ole Miss fan. But like I don't I'm still not giving Georgia's defense credit. Like they're not very good. As they weren't very good in this game either. Um I'll give them credit for the fourth quarter. I'm not giving them credit for the game.
I was gonna say
Um
fourth quarter they kind of dominated it.
but you know who I will give credit to? Long overdue. I know. Gunnar Stockton
Four
I
touchdowns.
he's proving me wrong by the day. I said that Gunnar Stockton would not be able to win these types of games for Georgia, and he's won two of them this year, if you count the
And he
Tennessee
heard
game.
you. He heard you
He
and he did
did.
that
He
just
heard
for
me
you.
specifically. Um, I still don't really know how to gauge Georgia. I think the way to gauge Georgia is very good football team won't win a national championship. I just think it's
I mean, they
impossible
got
for this team to win a national championship with their slow starts and bad defense.
that's fair.
Especially because it's a little bit like last year, except they have a much better quarterback. Like, think about it. Remember, at this point last year, every single week we were like, God, this Georgia team slow starts and then they win. And we're like, that's going to come back to bite them in the playoffs. And
And
then
then it
they
did.
did. I mean, to be fair, backup quarterback, but I don't think they win that game with Beckett under center, like, anyway, because I think Stockton is a better quarterback than Carson Beck is. Hot take.
As we've
Um,
seen this week.
certainly.
Instead of
Um,
4 interceptions, he threw 4 touchdowns.
three of them to Lawson Lucky, his tight end. And I like heard something during the game that like Georgia tight ends had some like ridiculously low number of targets and catches going into this game, which is like I feel like you never see for Georgia. Like Georgia usually always has a pretty good tight end. They had Brock Bowers, they had Oscar Delp. I think he's still there, Delp, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, and this year they've just kind of not used their tight ends as much. But getting Lawson Lucky going in this game was really good. Um, I think Georgia is definitely contending for the SEC. I think the SEC championship is going to end up being Texas A&M versus either Alabama or Georgia. The way
We're
we're going,
discounting Ole Miss again.
yeah, I am. I
Got
don't
you.
think that Ole Miss is going to make the SEC championship game
What's the rest of
because
their schedule
they
look like?
lose out on tiebreaker to both Bama and Georgia, and
That's
so like
true.
even if Georgia loses, like I don't think Georgia's going to lose a conference game for the rest of the year because I don't think they're going to lose to Florida. I don't think they're going to lose to Texas. The only way that Georgia makes the SEC championship game is if Alabama loses a game, which
I
is more
mean,
possible than Georgia
Ole
losing a
Miss
game at
does
this point
have
in time.
3 more conference games. 2 of them, they're pretty set to win. Like next week, they have. Is it next week? Yeah. No,
I think, but
next.
at the moment, Georgia and Ole Miss don't control their destiny. Like they need A&M or Alabama to lose, and I don't think A&M's going to lose, and I don't think Bama's going to lose. Hopefully, I mean, given looking at the rest of our season for Bama, it's LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn are the remaining tough challenge games.
Well,
LSU's looked pretty bad
Auburn's
recently.
say Auburn's 0-4 in the
I think
SEC.
Auburn's a more. I think Auburn is the game I'm the most scared about remaining on our schedule
Really?
because it's going to be a Jordan Hare game in Jordan Hare where Auburn's not very good and has nothing to play for, which is when they are always the most annoying to play. And yeah, and Oklahoma's been kind of mid recently. I'm still not very moved by their performance against South Carolina. Um, so I don't know. I do think the SEC championship will probably end up being Bama A&M, which I do think Bama probably loses. But this we aren't talking about Alabama. We're talking about Georgia. I really don't know what happened to Ole Miss in the fourth quarter of this game. I think it's a little bit of like Georgia's defense finally adjusting and also like Ole Miss kind of capitulating. But interesting to say the least. It'll be interesting to see what happens with both these teams going forward. I don't see Georgia losing in conference, but potentially could see them losing the Tech.
I could see
But
that as well.
I think they'll probably beat Tech.
I genuinely don't know, actually. I don't know anymore, bro. Tech doesn't, we've talked about Tech doesn't have like a crazy challenge until Georgia,
Tech
really.
Tech also doesn't
So,
really have a statement win this year. Because
I
I
mean, we
guess you
thought
can count the
Clemson.
Clemson game, but Clemson
And we
is
thought that like
3 and
coming out
4
like
right
of
now.
Colorado, they were like came out first week at Colorado with a good win. And so like we thought that was also
Kind of
better than
mid in that game against Colorado, though, to be fair.
still like away on the road first game.
Yeah, no, it's still a good win, but it wasn't like world beating.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, interesting to see what happens with both these teams going on for the rest of the season. And the spiritual Pac-12 is what I'm calling the Big 12 now, because if you remember, in the playoff era, the Pac-12 had a notorious uh kind of reputation for cannibalizing itself anytime it had the opportunity to do anything important. And the Big 12 is doing the same thing as Texas Tech loses their first game of the season in a wild ending against Arizona State, who, to be fair, we went into this game saying that Arizona State was a much better team than their rankings showed. Obviously, the game they lost, they didn't have Levitt playing at quarterback. Levitt was back for this one. Baron Morton was out with an injury. But we did think that Hammond could potentially give Texas Tech like enough to win because he was really good
I
against
mean, he did lead him in rushing yards as well as
which is
passing yards.
not good. But yeah, just an insane ending in this game with Texas Tech scoring like two touchdowns in like pretty much a minute
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
a
say like
half.
45-ish seconds apart.
And then their defense capitulating and allowing Arizona State to go all the way down the field in like a minute to score with like I think it ended up being like 7 seconds left in the game.
10 plays,
Um
75 yards in this game.
Um, yeah, rough one for Tech. They'll still probably win the Big 12 potentially. I don't know at this point. I refuse to predict the Big 12 because it's impossible. And
Is
yeah,
this
interesting to see what
ASU's
happens.
second time entering the rankings?
Yeah,
Okay.
they began in the rankings, I think, and then they
Yeah,
got knocked out of the rankings after losing to I think it was like TCU. Um, or maybe they beat TCU. No, they lost to Utah. They got their ass kicked by Utah, dropped out of the rankings and
and now
then
they're
re-entered the
back.
rankings this week. Yep. Um, moving on, Oregon decided to vent all of their frustrations from the IU game by dropping 750 total yards of offense on Rutgers, who that just feels mean. Like beating Rutgers, like no one's gonna like credit you for beating Rutgers. It's like seeing a kid in a wheelchair and then pushing them over and laughing at them.
Well,
Like
it's
it's
the
Rutgers.
750 yards of offense, 56 to 10. That's the statement.
But
That's
like that's the equivalent of kicking a wheelchair kid over. It's Rutgers
they're 3-4. We're 3-3 before this.
with wins against
Let's take a look, shall we?
no one.
Ohio, Miami,
Uh-huh.
OH,
Miami of
Norfolk
Ohio.
State, Miami of Ohio. And then it was it's back to back Iowa, Minnesota, Washington, Oregon.
So yeah,
No
don't color me
conference
too impressed,
wins.
Oregon. A good bounce back though. Then
It was like
down
a
in
event.
Nashville, it was a event. They were mad. Down in Nashville, Vanderbilt outplays LSU in pretty much every single stage of the game to win 31 to 24, and that score line is a little closer than what the game actually entails. Vandy ended up kneeing it out on like the 1 yard line to end the game. Really good win for Vandy. But I will say, I Red Zone predicted it. We both said that Vandy was going to beat LSU. So good job, us. Sadly, Whit Weeks was injured, so he didn't get the chance to tackle Pavia and then throw up on him.
But
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 he
his
has a chance with
brother
Marcel
did.
Reed this week,
His brother sacked him. He didn't
but
vomit on him,
didn't
but he
throw up
sucked.
on him.
No.
Loser. Um,
He didn't drink coffee
I
before the game.
I don't think LSU is very good. So do with that what you will. I don't think they have a very bad offense. And a defense that isn't good enough to stop teams better than them. And I think they're gonna fire Brian Kelly at the end of the year. Which
I
actually him going to Penn
don't
State
think
wouldn't
that's
be
true.
I think they're gonna fire Kelly. I don't think he likes being there. And also like think about it. Is LSU better now than when Kelly took over
No, but they had a pretty good run last year.
before collapsing at the end of the season? It's kind of the same thing that happens with all these Brian Kelly teams.
Yeah, Brian
My
Kelly did
like
have the like slamming his fist on the table interview last year.
it's my bold prediction. I
Can't
do
keep
think they'll
happening.
fire him,
That
but
is bold.
good game. Yeah. And then over in Duke, Georgia Tech finishes up business, beats Duke 27 to 18 behind a good, strong defensive performance and a good fourth quarter performance. Once again, Duke didn't really do anything Tech didn't really do anything special until like the fourth quarter. They were actually getting outgained in yards for like a majority of this game. Um, yeah, they are good. They beat the teams they need to beat, which is like better than most teams in the country at this point. I don't know if they can beat Georgia, but we'll see. Haynes King's very good at playing football. Insane opinion, I know, but
I mean,
he's
he
pretty
is.
good.
He's been consistent the whole, so
Yeah.
like he's fine.
And then
Can't have any complaints if you're a Tech fan.
further making the Red Zone podcast, and more specifically Riley, eat copious amounts of shit. Notre Dame beats USC 34 to 24. Um,
I literally just talked about that at the beginning of this. I'm like, if it was any other team, they would not be ranked at 0 and 2, even if they lost to ranked opponents. That's just the thing. Like, I
but they beat a
honestly
ranked opponent
now,
now.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying now is like, yeah, sure, they're fine where they are right now. I'm just saying, like, when they were 0 and 2, that was kind of crazy. That was, you can't even say that it wasn't crazy to rank a team that was 0 and 2. That was crazy.
I I understand why, but yeah, it was a
Okay.
little weird. No, I'm saying like I get why they were ranked, but it was a little bit
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I was like, that's interesting.
Hey, they played well here. Jeremiah Love went 24 carries for 228 and a touchdown, which is a ridiculous stat line in college. Um, I mean, USC is a good football team. I still think they deserve to be ranked over like I think they deserve to be ranked over Michigan, but I don't think
No,
that's ever
they're
going to
not.
happen. That they are not. Yes. Um, yeah, this is a fun, good game to cap off the night slate. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. Um,
Got it.
and then Oklahoma, South
The
Carolina,
Mormons, the
and
Mormons
then
keep
yeah,
kicking
Holy
it.
War. Shout out the Mormons, and also shout out Holy War for consistently having the best jersey matchups in all of college football.
Red and
The
blue.
color the color rush blue against the color rush red is
They
always
got like the Fire Boy and Water Girl type fits going.
uh yeah, I mean this was as stereotypical of a holy war as you could possibly get. Just like kind of tough, rough football back and forth. Um BYU pulled away in the fourth quarter. BYU is now in the driver's seat to win the Big 12, but knowing the Big 12, they will get cannibalized by someone before the end of the year
Can we also
because
talk about that the only scores in this game were in the second and fourth quarter?
that's pretty cool.
No
Cool stat.
scoring outside. Because it's
Fuck
just
the
like
fuck the odd quarters.
get the punt, downs, downs, punt, and then it's touchdown, touchdown, field goal, and then punt, punt, downs, punt, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. What's going on?
Hilarious. Um, but yeah, good, fun football game. Holy War always brings the hate, which is what you like to see out of rivalries. And then over in the Plains, Missouri beats Auburn
Double
23 to
overtime.
17 in double overtime. The end of this game was like it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, except who wants to like win this football game. No one wanted to win this football game. Missouri just like completely killed their last drive in regulation through bullshit and getting sacked and penalties. And then overtime happened. Obviously, Auburn does some bullshit with it and it doesn't work because it's Auburn and they suck at football. So I think their kicker like missed the kick in first overtime. I think that's what it was. Um, and so they respond by just missing a field goal again. I don't know. They just like go and like Missouri also misses a field goal because their kicker also sucks. And then mid second overtime, Missouri makes pretty easy work of Auburn, and then Auburn does nothing and loses. So, hilarious football for that. I didn't watch a lot of this. I watched the end of this game because it was during the Alabama game.
It's because to see Auburn lose.
Very good to see Auburn lose.
I hate Missouri.
Moving on. UVA continues their Cinderella season, beating Washington State 22 to 20. Needed a late game comeback here, but they did the work they needed to do. Shout out UVA for still winning. Obviously, they got a place in my heart. I'm a Charlottesville boy. Um, and hey, Washington State in the last 2 weeks have played two ranked teams very competitively. So good for them.
Congratulations,
We're all rooting for you. Um, South Florida
South
beat Florida
Florida.
Atlantic. Who cares?
Good
Um,
for them.
Good for them. And then
Texas.
Texas's offense. They had 179 yards of total offense in this game. They should not have won. If they were playing any team that wasn't like the worst team in the SEC, they lose this game by like 1,000. But they are playing Kentucky.
And they went into
So
overtime.
they choked as well at the end of the regulation. Like
Yeah.
they let Kentucky back into this game. Texas needs to thank every one of their lucky goddamn Texas Lone Star Stars that their defense is as good as it is because their offense is hot ass. It's so bad. Arch Manning can't throw a football to save his life. They have no running game. They're going to get their ass kicked by Georgia.
I feel like I gotta like warn you now is that come rivalry week, there's gonna be a lot about Arch Heis Manning. And I that's just
That's a lot of Theismann and Heisman Doza erasure.
oh Lord. Not from me. It's not from me.
But yeah, just a ugly, ugly football game. Neither team looked particularly good, but Texas looked very bad. Which just further shows just like how they beat Oklahoma as badly as they did last week.
How do you go how do you go from losing to Florida, one of the worst teams in the SEC, just fired their coach, beating Oklahoma's ass, and then barely beating Kentucky in overtime, the worst team in the SEC? What is going on? I'm so confused. I can't make sense of it. I who knows? I don't know anything anymore. I don't know anything about any sport or any college football team. No one makes any sense to me.
That's for true. Um, and then in the battle for the ribs, the best trophy, the best rivalry trophy. I think it's the Battle of the Bones, but they play for, you know what the trophy for this game is?
Is it ribs?
It's a golden rack of ribs.
That's beautiful.
But also Memphis loses, so now USF is like wide open into the group of five spot, pending the game next week, which is massive implications between USF and Memphis next week. But good job UAB, good job uh Dragons. Um yeah, fired their coach last week and they immediately win against a top 25 team without
Wow,
him.
add it to the list.
Turns out Trent Dilfer was a bad idea. Who could have seen that coming? Um, but yeah, good job, Dragons. You know what would happen if you imagined those dragons?
They become radioactive.
You'd get a band.
No. I thought my answer was pretty good though.
And then finally, Cincinnati defeats Oklahoma State 49-17. And obviously, Riley.
Who cares?
Well, that was a good one.
Thanks.
That tickled the eardrums.
Had to get real
And yeah, that
close.
was week 8. Going into week 9, we have some fun games. Indiana, UCLA, noon kickoff. Fuck. But whatever. We can't take them. We can't be like we can't just dick around and beat them. We actually need to try. But Sig will get them fired up for that. Bama, South Carolina. Red Zone Bowl. Bama favored by 11.5, which feels like probably the right amount.
Yep.
Ole Miss at Oklahoma could be fun.
That's what I was gonna point out.
USF at Memphis, very big game for the Group of Five race. Make sure you
Missouri
watch
at
that.
Vandy.
Very good game. That'll
Yeah,
probably be pretty fun.
that'll
Games
probably
in
be good.
Nashville.
Yeah.
BYU, Iowa State. Look to see BYU potentially. lose their undefeated season there. I think that's an upset alert kind of game. Um, Texas at
Texas
Mississippi
A&M.
State,
Yeah.
which is just the most like obvious Texas is going to look like dog shit for the majority of that game and then probably end up winning because Mississippi State can't beat teams, it looks like.
Do you have a call for the LSU Texas A&M game?
Texas A&M by a lot.
Really? It's in
Yeah,
Death Valley.
that doesn't really mean much.
Okay.
Bama went to Death Valley and won by like 40 last year, and we sucked last year. So
Who knows?
I also think A&M's
Hey,
good enough to where
maybe
it's not going to
Witt'll be
matter.
back and he'll just like
Throw up on Marcel Reed instead.
vomit.
I
So,
really hope he actually doesn't throw up on Marcel Reed because I have Marcel Reed in fantasy. So
okay. Well, hey, maybe it won't affect his performance.
it would affect my performance.
As we've said, I would quit.
I would quit.
I would be like, I'm so sorry. I don't
I'd
even care
drop the helm.
anymore.
I'd Antonio Brown that shit. Like just
I
take
would
my
just
pads off and
leave.
like leave
Yeah,
mid-game.
I'm just like, I'm good. You
Yeah.
can't make me do this anymore.
You can't make me. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it. Michigan at Michigan State could be fun.
Any
Um,
good Friday matchups?
Houston at Arizona State is also another fun one. So there's just like a lot of like kind of like low-key fun games this week. Um, yeah, we're at that point where games are starting to matter a little bit more. Um, we're gonna have playoff rankings come out soonish. I think
Yeah.
it's like week. It
Minus
actually
one member.
might be after this week. Isn't it usually week 9-ish is when they start doing? Who knows? Um, but yeah, I thought this was a very good week of college football.
I was sad.
It'll get better. It won't, but
Oh, won't. If there's no
maybe it'll hurt
change,
less.
if there's no change, then it's not getting better. I'm so sorry.
Remember,
Like,
this is my motivational quote of the day.
okay.
You can't be disappointed if you don't have expectations to begin with. Expect the worst, and then you can only be surprised.
This is from a conversation we had before we started filming, and this quote is pissing me off.
It's a great way to look at football.
At football. At football.
Yes, at football. Yes, and also
Ugh,
at life.
no, it's not.
It's
Don't be a
not.
pessimist, guys.
Not a good way to look at life, but it is actually not a bad way to look at sports, especially when your
At
team's not very
sports,
good.
don't expect. We literally talked about this in my sports the American life. He literally was like talking about. He's like, yeah, remember what? I think it was. I don't remember her name. This woman who's like literally has like this quote about like um how like people respond very similarly to sports than they do to religion and like your connection to like whatever religion
I
you have.
low key think I have a bigger devotion to Alabama and Indiana football than I do to God. Which
It's
like I'm
literally.
already not like a massively religious person in the first place, but maybe
I
the
will
Red Zone
say
podcast
I've
turns
gotten
into the Red
more.
Zone religion podcast.
Please, we don't.
We
We talk
we
about.
don't talk politics with a 10-foot pole, so let's go head first into religion.
That seems like a great idea.
Guys, is God real? That's the question for the week. Answer that in the comments.
Well,
Is
you
God
just saw
real?
my crash out about like who I don't know anything about teams anymore. I don't know who's good. I don't know what the heck is wrong with people. So there's no telling if God is real. There's no way to tell.
Anyway, keep low expectations, guys. You can't be disappointed when your football team sucks ass. Um, but anyway, that was a good week of the Red Zone podcast. We'll be back at you next
We
week
didn't
on Monday
rank it
night.
last week. Wait.
We
We
didn't.
didn't red zone gauge
I
last
haven't
week.
been writing them down on a note document, which means we can give it
I
a
was gonna
score, but we give it a score. I don't know the rankings of the weeks. I'd
perfect.
give
I mean, we
last
can go
week a
back and look at
10,
them. Last week at 10. Trying to remember
and
last
then I'd
week.
give this week like an 8.
This week is like a
Be
I'll put my
objective.
own feelings aside. 7. I was like 5.
One.
My personal week, 1.
Um, but yeah, we'll be back at you next week, next Tuesday morning, as we always are, because we have to release these at the same time every week. Go check out the highlight
Consistency.
videos on YouTube. Go check us out on TikTok,
Watch
Instagram,
us talk about
YouTube Shorts.
Whitweek's vomiting for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Just
go look, go.
straight.
But yeah, go follow us there. Go check us out. Obviously on all socials. We will be back next week, and we will be back the week after that, and then the week after that, and then we'll probably do an in-person one during Thanksgiving, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't even think about
We'll
that.
be
That's
we'll
gonna be
be
sick.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, for 1 week at least.
yeah. I can go
Yeah,
back.
yeah. But yeah, as always, I've been Nate Cohen, joined by my co-host Riley Davis, and that was the Red Zone Podcast. Roll Tide, baby.
Bye.